Hey everyone, it's No Clue and welcome back to another racing mower update. I don't have a lot to do this week, but I figured since I got the parts laying here, we can build the exhaust. So, just kind of catch you guys up on what's been done to this thing so far, because you can see it looks a lot different than what it did last time. I finally got my steering linkage put on, because that showed up in the package this week. So I threw those on, and I'm quite happy with the way the thing turns. I think I'm going to be very happy with the steering radius on this. If not, I can always move that bolt in the middle there out a little more. Or I can bring these tie rods in a little bit. Either way works. So I still have some adjustability to that if I don't like the steering radius on it. I think I might have to adjust it a little bit more, but I'm not too sure. And I got my axle here machined down by a machine shop because it'd be $50 to order a new one from BMI Carts, and I had a junk one of these laying around, so I took the junk one in, had the guy cut it down, and put threads on it. And that axle's in, it's all centered, everything's all nice together. And you can see the shiny thing on the top of my motor. This is my throttle plate. I ordered this before BMI Carts got their huge selection of Predator parts that they have now. I was looking online the other night and I seen that they have high compression heads for this, which I think I'm going to get. Oh, freaking keep knocking this throttle linkage off. I'm going to break it one of these times. There we go. And so yeah, I got that on there. It didn't fit exactly. I did have to stick this end in the bite or in a brake and straighten it out a little bit. And I also had to bend this tab here a little bit, but she fits nice and good now. No worries on that. And I got my brake cable, but you can see sitting here, I got the wrong cable. It doesn't have the an end on this, so I can't hook it to the clevis that I got. So I can't hook the brakes up the rest of the way. But you can see here, I got my chain on, and I have this set up to where I don't need a chain tensioner. Because the guy at the machine shop, he found a little warp in my axle, and he cut the end that was warped off, and put the proper end and kept the straight side. So this axle's pretty straight. So I don't have to worry about a bend on that, but my rims are still warped, so it does have a wobble to it. But I'm not worried about that. And I'm really excited because my next order, I'm getting just about all the parts I need to get this engine to where I can run it, because I'm not going to run this thing without the proper connecting rod or the flywheel on here. And since I'm opening up the crankcase, I'm going to put the performance cam in there right away instead of waiting on that. So the entire bottom end would be done then. And then all I'd have to do is put my high compression head on there and get my cheater carb off of eBay, because I found a guy who was selling it. And put some heavier valve springs in here and maybe get a valve cover, because I don't like the way this valve cover works. Just because of the breather on it. So that's really all I have to do, but all I have to do is about $200 to $300. So I'm going to take my time on that. But I think we're going to get this exhaust built. The plan is, and I don't know if I have enough bent pipe for it, I might have to go out and get some more, but who knows, is to run it out the back, not on this one side, but since this fell over, do dual thread on exhaust out the back, and see if this thing will actually hold. There. Do dual exhaust out the back, and instead of taking just straight up galvanized pipe nipple, I'm going to take the pipe nipple and I'm going to clamp this piece of chrome pipe around the ends of them so they're chrome tipped. So that adds a little bit of some cool looks to it. And you can thank Junkstar Builds for the idea. I'll leave a link in the video and also in the description, because I realized that some of the links I've been leaving in my annotations don't show up because of abysmal loading time. So I think we're going to get cracking on this exhaust, and I'll show you what I did here. And I kind of did this in the crudest fashion possible, but I kind of port matched this. I still have a little bit more matching to do. until it's nice. But I took this, you can see the box end here. I took a file and I ground it down a little bit so it's not a dead stop, but it'll get pushed over and it'll help direct the airflow a little bit more. So hopefully that helps. So I'm going to get cracking on this exhaust and I'll bring you guys back when I have something interesting to talk about. Alright, so far I have my head, the flange tack welded on. I got this elbow here tack welded on. My plan is taking this to a guy I know because he's certified in X-ray welding, which means his welds are really good. So I think I'm going to have him weld this flange up and weld this tube up because I know he can do some airtight welds because that's what he gets paid for. And the first, I want to say 12 inches. I don't know if I remember that stat right or not, but like the first 12 inches is where you build up the main amount of your back pressure for your engine to run right. So I'm going to have him do that. And then I've been welding up this pipe here. I just cut a notch in it. I cut it all the way through because I was kind of lazy, but I'll be able to weld that up. And I've been welding this thing so it's airtight and, or not, I don't know if it is airtight, but I'm pretty sure it's nice and solid though. So this is how I'm going to run my dual exhaust. And I did have to change the plan up a little bit. Instead of running, where are my pipes at? Sitting over here. Checking for a final fit before I welded them together and screwed myself. But originally I wanted to run a pipe out here and a pipe out here, which it would have looked really cool, but I got my brake rotor in the way and the sprocket's kind of in the way. It's not as much in the way as the rotor is, but that rotor is basically killing me. If I really wanted to, I can put the pipe right there and call it good. But I paid for 2 mufflers. I'm going to use 2 mufflers. So I made this. And I got a little more fitting to do, but this is going to weld up right in there like that. And I'm not too worried about closing the holes that are there. So, and unfortunately it's not going to be exactly centered. And since I can't get this thing done tonight, I'm going to ask you guys something. Should I weld my exhaust like this? Or that, to where they're up and down? Because I think that would look okay. But I don't know. Because I mean, I got the room for that without running into any issues. And I think that'd look pretty cool. But I don't know. Actually, let's throw the fenders on here real quick. And see if I can line this up at all like I want to. So fenders are kind of sitting on there, not really bolted down, but I don't know, having 2 pipes come out like that looks pretty cool. So does 2 pipes coming out like that looks pretty cool as well. So I don't know, I'm not too sure on what I want to do with that. But I won't be able to weld that down tonight because, like I said, I want to take the take that head or the header pipe to a guy I know and get it welded. I guess the only other thing I could really do is cut my torque converter cover apart like I need it to. And by the way, on my last update, I may have mentioned something about this Tecumseh getting bolted on. I failed to observe that this shaft here isn't threaded internally, and I'm not tapping threads on that because I'm too lazy to for a temporary setup. Maybe if it was a more permanent setup I'd do it, but I don't feel like tapping the threads on there. So what I think I need to do next is cut this cover in half and get it to where I can bolt the half of the cover up on top and then the half on the bottom. Then make clearance for my chain. So I think I'm going to do that and call it an early night. Alright, so I got this torque converter cover all cut down and fit, and you can see it covers up 90% of the torque converter up here, but we still got some exposed bits down here. And my solution is I'm going to take a piece of tin, I'm going to wrap it along this edge here, and I may or may not rivet the like 2 bolts here, or put 2 rivets there, and maybe rivet it here. I'm not sure yet. I'd have to see how easy it is to get it on and off first. I don't think I'll be able to do it now that I'm thinking about it a little bit more, but it was a good idea when it lasted. So I'm gonna finish making a metal cover for this later, but right now it's just the general premise of getting this thing cut down, because I have a friend who's fairly artistic, and I think it'd be cool to have this thing covered in artwork. So, come on. There we go. So I think it'd be pretty cool to have like just stuff all over here. I mean, I don't know what kind of theme it'd have, but I think I might just let him go hog wild on it and see what he can come up with. And while he's painting that up, I got to see if he'll want to do it first, but I'm going to have my other friend weld this header up, because I don't know if I mentioned this before. I don't know how airtight my welds are, but I know his welds are immaculate. He just finished a welding competition and is among the top 3 welders in the state. And he only lost by like a 500th of a point. So I don't even know how you lose by that much. But back to my one friend who's good at artwork. He drew this on the board while we were shooting the shit, eating our pizza today. So I'd say he's pretty qualified for doing some artwork on there. And maybe I'll have him do some artwork on this blower housing, but I'm not sure. I'd have to see whether or not how reluctant he is to do the torque converter cover first. But I think that'd give it a nice little kind of finish look, because they didn't put, or the torque converter I ordered didn't have the torque converter sticker on it like the Comet clutches do. So I think it'd be pretty cool to have that all covered in artwork, because other than that it'd just be black and plain and it would blend in too well. So yeah, that's all I got for this update. I didn't get all that much done. I think I spent like 15 minutes welding everything together. So kind of shortchanged you guys on this week, but that's because I thought I was going to get the thing running by the end of the week and I'd be able to sneak a test ride video in, but that Tecumseh had other plans. So until then, guys, I'll catch you next time.